Hello, hello. Welcome. Hi, Dr. K. Can you hear me? Perfect, perfect. Thank you for joining me again tonight. Appreciate your support and your input is always invaluable. Hey, Beck, I've already started the live. Hi, Rhea. Good evening.
How you feeling?
All right, all right. I'm drinking some tea right now. All right, we're gonna get started here in a few minutes and give some folks some time to jump on. Excuse me. Please forgive my voice. Little bug trying to jump on me, but I'm gonna beat this thing. Really excited about this particular topic tonight. Something that I really uh, taught and preached as a pastor, as well as a number of the speaking engagements that I did around the country. I talked about this quite a bit. It's almost a niche for me, if you will, and it has propelled me into so many different arenas, and I'm really excited to talk about it tonight. Should we turn that light off?
The glares?
Yeah, turn that light off. Thank you.
Too dark.
Yeah, it looks too dark now, but I can see spots. Yeah, you can turn it back on. Yeah, please. Yeah, see, it looks okay here except for these spots, and I'm not sure if that's coming from the ones behind us. Might be. So we'll see.
So thirsty.
All right, good afternoon, good evening. We're going to get started here in a few seconds. Just giving folks a chance to jump on the live stream on Facebook as well. Thank you for being here with us tonight, or this afternoon, this evening, wherever you may be. Hello, Facebook Live family. Of course, my YouTube family. For those on Facebook, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. Like, subscribe, follow, share that as we continue to grow our podcast. And thank you all for being here with us this evening. And tonight we are going to talk about how the economic times we are in right now, how that's impacting families and even single people, individuals around the country, what that means, what that looks like. Of course, I've done my research, got some data and some stats we want to delve into. And then I want to share some insights that I have from my experience, from my training, my learning, from my mentors who've taught me and shown me the way in terms of, financial literacy, being financially astute in so many different areas. Want to get into that. And of course, I want to, hear your stories, get your feedback, any questions you may have. I'm also going to take a look at some of the pointers that I talked about in the self-published book that I did in 2012 about building your dreams. And it really deals with a number of factors concerning financial literacy, legacy, financial wealth, all of those sorts of things. So I'm going to start by just going into some of the data and statistics. According to the Wall Street Journal, nearly 30%, right at 29% of all Americans identified the current financial crisis that they're experiencing is because of inflation, the inflation that we're experiencing right now. So just about a third of all Americans feel that the number one obstacle to their financial well-being is inflation. And if I could see a raise of hands, all of us can appreciate and understand what that means. Low and middle income households are particularly strained, right? Because the wealthy, they know how to get around taxation and certain levels of inflation, if you will. Many are cutting non-essential expenses, delaying major purchases, and searching for cheap alternatives. That's something we should be doing anyway, according to the millionaire next door. Some may see an annual cost rise of over 1,000% in tariffs. That is an incredible number, 1,000%, and that's from MarketWatch. Young adults, parents, and especially Black families feel inflations more acutely. Why is that? Black households with income above the national median face 40% more price volatility than their white counterparts, hampering budgeting and financial flexibility. That's according to Barron's. Here's one that we can relate to, especially in a place here like California: housing cost. In 2023, about half of all renter households, about 49.7%, were cost burdened. Check this out: spending more than 30% of their income on housing, more than a third of their total income on just putting a roof over their head. Among Black renter households, the burden is even higher. 56.2% spent over 30% of income on housing in 2023. And that's according to the census. Nationally, 30% of children live in families facing high housing cost burdens, putting stress on the entire family. Now, remember, the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about, family and community, and how all of these things intertwine, how it's all connected, and how it impacts us as a whole. So 30% of these children live in families facing high housing cost burdens. And that's defined as, paying over 30% of your income on housing. Families earning under $20,000 per year. I know for some of us on this call, that's unfathomable
Yeah.
for someone to be making 20,000 a year, but it's a very real fact in this country that there are people making 20,000, 24, 25, 30,000, or even less, 15,000, 16,000 a year. Nearly 90% of them spend over 30% of their income on housing. I want you to think about these numbers. Making 20,000 a year and spending 30% of 20,000 on housing. Okay? We're not even, this is gross numbers. We're not even talking about taxes and health care. We're not talking about any of that, just on housing. Okay? This is a big one for those with young children. Childcare costs are out the roof. Now, some of the numbers that I pulled up, this is just an average, but of course, I have seen this number be so much higher in certain pockets around the country. But parents are facing $800 per month per child
Wow.
on childcare per month. Think about that for a minute. That's for 20 hours of care weekly, 20 hours of care per child. So if you had 2 children, that's $1,600 a week for your children to go into childcare while you go to work to try to make a living. These are the reasons why so many people are leaving the country, going to places like Taiwan and Mexico and different other places around the world. Got a good friend of mine, good friends of mine, brothers and sisters up north. They're going to Mexico. They're going to build a house. They're getting out of here. They tired of the rat race. And, these are wealthy people, well-educated people, but they want to keep more of their money, right? So that's something that we all need to think about and consider. So that's 20 hours a week, $800 per child. It costs on average around $1,100 a month. This is equal to 50 to 70% of a family's housing cost. Think about that for a minute. Some people are paying exorbitant amount of money. Some people are working just to pay childcare, basically, just to pay childcare. Yeah. Of course, there's so many different areas I can go into just thinking about that, how important on some level the nuclear family, if you will, is. If we executed that properly, I know we had a number of men, our ancestors, who didn't execute this properly, which has caused some of the issues with the feminist movement, the abuse of women, wives, making them feel trapped, all of these different things, not loving them and appreciating them like they should have been. And of course, that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day. In real terms, a baby's first year costs have soared to $20,745 on average in 2025, up from $15,775 in 2022. I bet you have never sat down and put numbers together in terms of how much you spend on your children each year. I did many, many years ago. I use Microsoft Money. I use QuickBooks, all of these different softwares many, many years ago. And I'm very meticulous when I use. I still use them today. So I'm able to run reports. I know where every penny goes. I know the category it goes into, and I understand where I need to go in and shift the budget around. So if you're not doing that, I would recommend that you get a really good software that you can use to help you put your budget together and execute your financial plan. Now, parenting and debt. This is another thing that's, literally destroying families financially. A survey of parents in Barron's with children ages 0 to 18 found 6% have gone into debt to cover rising cost. Okay, you could have a budget and you could have been doing well on your budget, but now with all of the inflation that we have, you have to recalibrate. You have to think through, how are we going to make these changes? And a number of families don't have options, or maybe don't know what those options are. So a number of them are going into debt. They're using their credit cards to cover those additional costs. They're getting high interest loans to cover those additional costs, further complicating their financial situation. Yeah. Common forms of debt include credit cards, average balance $14,566. This is according to the New York Post. Medical bills, $12,316. Personal loans, $15,294. On average, parents incur an additional $181 in debt per month since the beginning of the year, since the beginning of this administration. Okay.
Oh, since the beginning of this administration.
Since the beginning of this administration, according to the New York Post, families are seeing an addition. This is on average now. Some families are much more, of course, and some families are less. But the average across the country is that families are feeling $181 new added debt each month. Okay.
Wow.
I know we look at these numbers and we really don't think about them. We are desensitized to them, but we really need to start paying attention to the numbers so we can figure out what we need to do as a community to overcome some of these obstacles that's put in our way. So 60% of adults said price increases made their financial situation worse.
Yeah.
I didn't say 50%. I didn't say 40%. According to the Federal Reserve, 60% of adults in the United States of America said price increases made their financial situation worse.
Yeah.
And 17% said it made it much worse.
Wow.
And those with lower household incomes and those raising children, felt the impact even more deeply.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to stop there with the stats because I went into a whole dissertation, if you will, just doing research on this, trying to look at it holistically and how we could talk about this together collectively tonight. Yes, Senator, the cost of college, helping our children, continue their education. And even before college, we have some families that are in areas with poor public schools and they have to put their kids in private schools, and private tuition is $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. Yes. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. That's Dr. K. Dr. K, she was reading your comment. I had thought about leaving the U.S. Absolutely. It's probably something that I think about almost every day and talk to a number of different people all the time.
Where are we going?
We're going to go wherever the Lord lead us to go. Okay. All right. Now, with that being said, I want you to, get your thoughts together, your questions, your comments together. And I want to share some tools that you can use to help us navigate, these financial situations. We can call it a financial crisis because it is.
Yeah.
Foreclosure is on the rise, homelessness is on the rise, hunger is on the rise, disenfranchisement, all of those things are on the rise right now. And a lot of it has to do, of course, with the financial stability of families and individuals around the country. There's two buckets I want to talk about tonight. One is I had two really good mentors who helped me understand economics. And that's something we don't talk about a lot, especially in our communities. Economics, that's different from, money management or financial management. Economics is a totally different subject matter, all unto itself. Matter of fact, I dedicate some time in my latest book, Strategy Development, to economics and understanding the concept of economics. One was Leon Capers Jr., was a mentor to me. We worked together at Black Collegian, Black MBA, and we did some other ventures together. I learned from him. I watched him, how he handled his financial situation. Also, Press Edwards Sr. and Press Edwards Jr., the owners of Black Collegian magazine, really watched them, learned from them, and gleaned and gained a lot of financial understanding. Also from my pastor, Chief Apostle Leonard Lucas of Light City Church in New Orleans, Louisiana. Just watching him, being with him mentoring me and showing me how to be financially literate, if you will, and how to begin to build wealth for not only myself, but also for future generations. And there's also two books that I read that revolutionized my way of thinking. And if you haven't read these books, I recommend you get these books. Number one is The Millionaire Next Door. If you don't have The Millionaire Next Door in your library, order it tonight. Order it on Amazon and tell them to overnight it to you. You need to have that in your library. You need to read that. You need to be familiar with all of those different principles and concepts that they talk about in The Millionaire Next Door.
The Millionaire Next
The Millionaire
Door.
Next Door.
Okay.
The other one is Priceless by Dave Ramsey. And I'll give you the name of the authors for Millionaire Next Door here in a moment. But Priceless by Dave Ramsey changed my life. I read a concept that he had in that book, and this is 30 years ago. And I put that one concept into motion that I learned from that book. And just putting $200 into this mutual fund, or was it an annuity? I can't remember what it was at the time. And in 5 years, I had $60,000 in that one account. It had grown. 5 years. Some of the other concepts I learned in The Millionaire Next Door. I had 2 cars at the time. I decided to sell one of the cars and catch the bus to work. I was working downtown New Orleans. I was living on the West Bank in Algiers. Walk a couple of blocks up, get on the bus, be downtown at my job in 10, 15 minutes, get on the bus, come home, be home 10, 15 minutes. The money that I saved from gas, toll, parking, maintenance, all those things, put it into another investment vehicle and watch that grow over a period of time. I decided because, working downtown, you're in New Orleans, we eat fancy in New Orleans, I mean, I was eating fancy. I was at the Crystal Room. The Crystal Room at the La Pavillon Hotel was right next door to my office. And I was in there so much, I had a relationship with everyone in there. They were sending food to my office in the morning, big old Belgian waffles with, whipped cream and bananas and strawberries. I went from 170 pounds to 200 pounds real quick. Okay. They would send me shrimp pasta for lunch just sending me all this rich gourmet food. So I decided to, I'm going to start bringing my lunch for a year. And the money that I was spending at all of these restaurants, let's see what that does. Took that money, put it into another investment vehicle and started to see it grow and watch it grow. Another concept that I learned, I was doing really well financially, very well. Could have went and built, a new home in English Turn community. Matter of fact, I had some friends build home. Man, come build your home back here. And I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm good. I like what I'm paying now. I don't want to have to pay $3,500, $4,500, $5,000 for a mortgage. Of course, for my California people and my New York people, they're like, what? That's common. That's just natural. You're going to pay that much here. But in New Orleans, you didn't have to necessarily pay that. You could have got a decent house for much less.
Right.
So I was like, nah, we're not going to do that because we want to make sure if anything happens for the next 12 months, next 24 months, next 36 months, whatever it is, 60 months, we got enough money saved where we can take care of our expenses and not miss a beat. So those are some of the concepts that I wanted to put out there. And we're going to have my wife, Michelle, come in and talk about her inspirational thought of the day. But I want to give you some concepts that I wrote about in this book, which I primarily wrote for the young people, as well as for the people in my church. And, I would speak at schools and speak at different institutions around the country. The first thing you have to do, according to what I believe, the key steps to building your dream, building financial stability, if you will. Let's just start with stability. But I'll say wealth as well, is the first thing you do is you pay God. Now, you have some people who on here who may not be a Christian, and that's okay. That may mean, you're supporting your mosque if you're a Muslim.
Mhm.
You're supporting uh, charitable organizations that you believe in that do wonderful work in the
Mhm.
community and around the world. That may mean a number of different things, but giving
Mhm.
to help others is that first step. And for me, that means pay God first. When you get paid, you pay God first. The second thing is you pay yourself. That's your investments. You know, you're putting money away. You're investing in the 401k on your job, which is one of the best tools to use because you have matching money, free money that's going
Mhm.
into your account. You may have some mutual funds, you may have some stocks, you may have bonds, you may have crypto, you may have a number of different things, but you have to pay yourself. Pay God, then pay yourself. And then number three, then you pay your bills. Now, this is how we have lived our lives traditionally, from what I saw as a kid growing up.
Pay the bills.
We paid our bills first because a lot of times we lived above our means. We didn't understand financial principles. We
Yep.
paid bills first.
Yep.
If
Yep.
you
Yep.
follow these steps, you will not, well, I shouldn't say you will not, because every circumstance is different. Every situation is different. A number of different things happen to some that don't happen to others.
Right. Right.
But on average, if you follow this process, if you will, you will not go into an exorbitant amount of debt because you already know when you get paid, I got to pay God, then I got to pay myself, then I pay my bills. So what that means is that instead of me going get, that big 5,000 square foot house, which you probably do not need, I'm gonna be happy with going get this 1,200 square foot house, this 1,500 square foot house, 2,000 square foot house. Okay, I can manage that. I can pay God, pay myself, and I can manage that particular mortgage payment or rent payment or whatever the case may be. So if we follow those initial principles, we'll see a change and a difference in how our financial health and wealth begins to look. And yes, we're going to get to all of your statements and all of your comments here in just a moment. But I want to give you a couple other things that I wrote in this book in 2012. Tips for building wealth. You need an emergency fund. An average emergency fund should be at least $1,500. Now, of course, a number of you on here are financially literate. You know exactly what that is. But for those who do not, an emergency fund is money that you have. It could be in a bank somewhere. It could be in a safe in the
Mhm.
house, wherever you decide you want to put it. But it's money that you have in case of an emergency where you don't have to dip into your mortgage money, your rent money, your food money, your utilities, whatever it is. Say, for
Right.
instance, the baby needs something new, needs something at school, and that may be $200-300 that you did not budget for and anticipate for. But because you have an emergency fund, you can go into that emergency fund and not disrupt what you're doing in your financial life, if you will. So that's number one. You
Mhm.
got to have an emergency fund. If the car breaks, you need some brakes, you need this, that, and the other, go right into that emergency fund and take care of that without having to pull out the credit card and all of those sorts of other things that get us in trouble. The second thing that I talk about in here is get out of debt.
Mm. Mm.
Work hard to get yourself out of debt. Always maintain the proper insurance. I cannot stress this enough. Always maintain the proper insurance. I pastored a church in New Orleans. We didn't have the proper insurance. I dropped the ball on that. We ran into some issues. Hurricane Katrina hit,
Yeah.
and because we were underinsured, it caused a lot of headache. It caused a lot of issues for us as a ministry. Okay, make sure you have proper insurance. Just recently, talking to some people, had family members who passed away who did not have life insurance. Come on, people. It's 2025. You got to have some life insurance to leave behind to help your family and not leave them in debt.
Mm.
Always maintain the proper insurance.
Are you beating on the table?
Oh, I'm beating on the table because I pastored for a lot of years,
Beating.
been around a lot of people, and it's heartbreaking, and it's aggravating. It's disgusting
Ooh.
that we have family members dying. And I've heard some of the testimonies where family members said, I ain't leaving them no money,
Oh yeah.
with that kind of mentality, that kind of attitude. Do you
Yeah.
know insurance helps us leave legacy, helps us build wealth for the next generation?
Yeah.
Home ownership helps us pass on wealth to the next generation. I grew up in a community where no one owned a home. And I'm looking around. As a kid, I knew something was wrong with that. Okay?
Staying where?
As a kid, I grew up in the projects.
Oh, okay. But our grandparents.
Yeah, well, but I'm
They
talking about the
did.
people we lived around.
Oh,
Of course,
yeah.
our grandparents, my grandfather, owned his home, owned, restaurants, bars, all of that uptown. My grandmother owned her home, et cetera, et cetera. But the people I
Yeah.
grew up around.
In that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing, and we're gonna get to Michelle because I know y'all waiting to hear what my wife has to say. Hold on a second. Begin to invest at least 10% of your household income. At least 10%. At least 10% of your total household income. At least. I can remember there were times and seasons where I invested 30%, up to 30% of my income. Up to 30% I was investing. I was making that money work. The whole point of that is, instead of working for money all the days of your life, have your money begin to work for you. Okay. So invest at least 10% of your household income. I don't care. Some people say, I can't afford to do that. No, you got to look at that budget. You got to make some changes. You got to make some tough decisions. That's why at the very beginning of this, I said, hey, look, even though I was doing very well, I wanted to put these principles to work. I sold a car. I got on the bus. Okay. Full suit on the bus with my briefcase. They don't have briefcases today.
They don't do
So
that.
I'm dating myself.
They got laptop bags.
Yeah, I'm dating
whatever.
myself.
Yeah.
I got rid of that car. I stayed in that little cottage house I had in Algiers. I wasn't going building English Turn and building Eastover and all of that. No. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Learn how to manage that. Okay. Put some money away for your children. 529 plans, helping with college, so on and so forth. And let me get back to that. Those who say I can't do it. That's a lie. Because most of us get a meal, at least one meal a week, at least one meal a week that costs, it costs $20 to get a decent meal at McDonald's now.
Oh yeah. Ask JoJo. He knows.
$20, $25 to get a meal at McDonald's. So I want you to think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. If you just took that $25 from that one meal every week and put that into your emergency fund, or put that into some sort of saving vehicle, I'm telling you, we can't fathom it because we look at the number and say it's so small, but over a period of time, excuse me, you got to think over a period of time. You got to think long term, not short term. Our focus is so short term, we can't see the forest for the trees, as they say. Stop giving money to lazy people. I have that in here. Stop giving money to lazy people. Come on, mamas on here. Come on, mamas on here with them baby boys and baby girls. Okay. Stop giving money to lazy people. Okay. They need to get out and earn it just like you earning it. I'm not going to get into that because I'll get on my soapbox on that. Okay. Leave those credit cards alone. Put in hard work. Stack some chips. Oh, you're going to like this one. Or maybe you won't like this one. Find the right mate. I was about to throw my hands up. Find the right mate. The wrong mate can break you, have you in debt, have you hurting financially because they don't understand how finances work. These are things that I learned. These are things that are powerful tools. As a pastor, I'm sharing this with people. I'm telling them, hey, this is what you need to do now. You need to make sure that this person is financially astute. This person know what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all need to come together. Y'all need to work on this because you'll fool around and get with somebody and they'll be spending all their money and spending yours too. and the rent is not paid. The mortgage is not paid. The cell phone, this, that, and the other. Okay. I know I'm rambling on here, y'all, but show me some grace. Find the right mate, create opportunities in tough times. Tough times like this, generally, when millionaires are made, they're made in tough times like this. They lose a job, something happens, and they say, you know what? I've had this goal, this dream, this vision. I'm going to just go for it. In tough times, that's generally when we get things really happening for us. Make a budget and stick to it. See, if I was preaching, I would say, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, make a budget and stick to it.
You didn't look at me.
Make a budget and stick to it.
Okay.
Make a budget, stick to it. Okay. You can't get sidetracked. I know y'all like them shoes, them purses, all that stuff. You can't get, no, I got a budget. I got to stay on budget. Once I reach my goals, then I can get that purse. I can get this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
The last point I have in here is conserve, conserve, conserve. And the last chapter, I deal with the importance of mentors. Mentors are so critical for helping us find someone who's financially astute, someone who's doing well, who understands these principles, get under their wing and let them help you. Okay.
And we're never too old to have mentors, right?
Oh, never. Yeah. Never. You should have a mentor till the day you drop.
Yeah. And mentors have mentors.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a cycle.
Oh, yeah. It's a cycle. Yeah. And, you got to have mentors. Yeah. And with that, thank you for being patient with me as we work through those points and principles. Before we get into the chat and see what everyone is talking about and discussing, we're going to have my wife, Michelle. This segment is called A Moment with Michelle. So she's going to share something with us. Okay. Come on, baby.
It's actually called On Another Note.
On another note? No, it's A Moment with Michelle.
You gave me that cliche, on another note.
No, on another note to transition.
Oh, well, I thought it was cute.
No, but on another note, that's what you want to call this segment, on another note?
On another page or something like that.
On another note.
Yeah,
on another
With that being said, or something like to that, to that point. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining in. Of course, we really, really appreciate it. I worked kind of late today, so I'm literally just getting through the door. Haven't even taken my shoes off, but I'm taking my shoes off now, and I don't want my husband to say,
don't take them off then.
I got to take them off because I need to unleash my feet. Okay?
No, you don't need to unleash them on me, though.
Babe, come on now. It's okay. It's disability. It's all good.
I hope so.
So I just wanted to just kind of touch bases on what would be a place, your dream, if you had the opportunity to be somewhere right now, where would that somewhere be? What's your happy place? It could be a place. It could be place within your home. It could be your favorite food, your comfort food. What would be your happy place? Puerto Rico. Okay.
Well, that's where Maria's family is from.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what. Okay.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, like you're okay. Who is
That's
Unleashed?
Dr. K. It's Dr.
But
K.
she's on here already
Yeah, she's on both her channels.
Oh, she's on both. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm clicking buttons. I'm sorry, man. My bad. Florence, Italy. All right, Dr. K.
Yes, absolutely. Italy is a beautiful place.
And a lot of people don't like to travel, far out the country. Yes, from a family that I never met. Oh, she's our family she never met. Okay. So we got Puerto Rico, we have Italy. Um, who else? Senna, what would be what's your happy place? Um, like I said, it could be somewhere in your home. Some people have their own little space in their rooms. Oh, with my grandbabies anyway.
Anywhere, yes,
Oh, we're
yes,
not even talking about grandbabies because, honey,
yes,
when I tell you, each time I see my grandchildren, I fall in love with them all over again.
yes.
The love of a grandparent is, oh my
It's different.
gosh,
It's different.
it's totally different.
It's
I
different.
love my children, but my grandbabies, yeah,
That's different.
I love my grandbabies. I love
That's
them so.
different.
It's a totally different type of love.
That's different.
Anybody else want to share what their happy is, their happy place? I'm very easy. I'm as simple as in my backyard. You know, certain times of the year, and Devin, he can attest to that. I would be outside in that backyard,
Mhm.
sleep. I mean, snoring.
Well,
Nice breeze.
well, you snore anywhere, backyard, plane, it don't matter. Snore anywhere.
Nice breeze blowing. Okay, Sujita. Hi, Sujita. I can't. Kathmandu. Okay, okay, all right, Kathmandu. I bet that sounds
It
exotic,
sounds
Sujita.
tropical. Tropical, right?
Yeah, my backyard swimming. Okay, you gotta teach me how to swim, girl, because our pool getting ready to be done. So I need some swimming lessons. Yeah, Chad, Jamil, Jojo, any place is like your happy place. Anybody on Facebook? What's your happy? What is your happy, happy, happy? Okay, thank you, boo. All right. I'm gonna keep you up on that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm a backyard girl. I'm a garage girl. Before our backyard was done, I made my happy place in the garage. I had my husband to mount a TV in there. I got my little futon in there. I got a table. You know, we have the garage stuff in there as well, but a couple of rugs. You know, for Halloween, I do my little disco lights. You know, have my candy ready for the kids. Have me a little, adult beverage. You know, just enjoying the kids and their parents coming by. Those are places that I consider my happy, for real, for real. And it doesn't have to be out of the country. It doesn't have to be out of the state. You know, I love Vegas. I would go if I had the opportunity. I would probably go to Vegas, probably once a month. But anyway, that's just me. Dana says her happy place is on a tropical island with the Mai Tai. I don't like Mai Tais, but I do the tropical island. I'll probably get a pina colada or something.
Dana, which
I
tropical
know
island?
which, yeah.
Which tropical island?
Jasmine, traveling where, baby? Where would you like to travel? What would be your happy place? What would make you happy where you're going to actually be traveling? What island? I would love to go to
Michelle
an
doesn't like
island.
long flights, so
Mm-mm.
she's not doing Europe and Asia and all that.
No, I'm not down with the long flights. I mean, at some point I probably will when my husband retires me and then we can travel. But yeah, I may do it as long as I have some food and a movie or two to watch. I think I'll be good. Comfortable seating. I think I'll be good. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to some of the comments here.
What you pressing me?
I'm trying to get away from that.
Uh-uh.
Let's see. Okay, so I
There you
see
go.
here. No.
You going from up to down?
Yeah.
Okay.
We see here. Dr. Cade offered that most banks offer it for free with checking accounts now. It's in your banking apps for budgeting.
Yeah, I noticed that I get a lot of emails about, yeah, in the banking app, they give you an option for, they tell you exactly how much you spend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Also, it's in your Microsoft Office 365. You pay an additional fee, and you have a nice software to manage all that for you. I still use my old Microsoft Money and QuickBooks to manage it.
Yeah.
And Senna said plus college. She was referring to just the rising cost of college. Let me see. Let me see. Dr. K has here. I read earlier this week that a national survey on mental illness, addiction, and violence is on the rise this year by 23.4%, starting with individuals as young as 12 years old. You know, I was just talking to my cousin about this, about her granddaughter, being impacted by COVID in 2020. So many of these young people are dealing with mental illness because of that time frame, being isolated from their classmates, from their teachers, having to figure out how to learn on their own. And it caused a lot of anxiety for these young people. And a number of them are dealing with depression right now at extreme levels. So yes, I'm surprised that it's not even higher than that, Dr. K. I'm surprised it's not even higher. Let's see.
You were mentioning about Hurricane Katrina, and that's when Senna said that was devastating. She had friends that lived in Algiers.
Okay.
Devastation is not even the word for Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, and we see DJ Che Dutch. Life insurance is the key. Absolutely. Now it's one of the ways that we pass on wealth to our children and grandchildren. We got to get that. We got to get that straight. We still haven't broken through like we need to in a number of communities in the country and around the world, according to the data and the statistics.
That's my stomach.
Let's see. No, that's this.
Oh, it's like, is that my stomach?
Let's see. Dr. K. Ignorance is what has kept many stuck. Yes, for lack of knowledge.
And then,
Senator, you have a best friend that lives in Algiers. Okay,
that's from Algiers, actually.
Okay,
I think just to piggyback off what Dr. K said about ignorance, at some point in time in our lives, we all did not meet the expectations that we should have been where we what I'm trying to say. So I can speak personally for myself. I look back on some things in my life and I was like, man, I was blind to this. Had I been more open and more knowledgeable, and that comes from reading, as well. And I think I would have probably been in a better place, at that time. So
yeah, we all learn. And Dr. K, you're absolutely right. Dr. K said that's why she makes her fancy coffee every morning. Starbucks will not get her money. That's one of those guiding principles. We make adjustments instead of spending that $8, $9, $10 at Starbucks each morning. Take that $8, $9, $10 and put into some sort of investment vehicle. It'll change our life.
I had Starbucks yesterday. I hadn't had it in a while, so
that's why I've been working. Yeah, Maria said that's why she's been working on that, getting her debt cleared so she can save more and invest more.
Yeah.
Yes, by family, backgrounds, and mine. Santa says hers is her bedroom, my living room, my house. I have tons of plants in my house.
Yeah.
Plants make me happy, and of course, my children. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Maria, a tropical oasis in your home.
Back on the island of St. Martin on a boat, sipping on some
Hennessy.
Yeah, that's Rhea. Rhea like her Hennessy.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see what's happening up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure who's all on there. I see. It looks like I can't really tell who.
What does that bring them on camera?
Tazita, Carlton Jones, Linda Bell. Hello to you guys. Hey, Mooney, that's my sister cousin.
Hello, everyone. Dana, on Facebook.
Joyce. I think that was everybody. Yeah, I think that's everybody.
That's all the comments.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, we were talking about the happy place. Where's your happy place? A lot of people say it. Sometimes on a Saturday when it's rainy season, tell them, babe, I will get some. My husband will bring me some breakfast in bed. And I will watch Good Times. I will watch Good Times
episodes.
over and over, especially on a Saturday when it's raining. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that makes me happy. It makes me happy. Yeah, it does.
Well, everyone, we want to be respectful of the time.
Hey, Keena, thank you so much. Hey, Cuz, thank you guys.
Where you see them?
Cuz is right here.
Okay.
And then Keena is right there.
There we go.
We were asking about cousin Keenan. We're asking about what's your happy place. Like it doesn't have to be. It can be just anything. What makes you happy? If you had the choice to be there right now, what does that look like? Is that a place or where would it be? So that's what we were kind of, talking about, towards the end. Thank you guys.
Yes. All right, everyone. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment. Please make comments
Yeah.
on each episode. That really helps with our algorithm. Please subscribe, share, of course, like and make comments on the page. And Michelle brought to my attention, she said, hey, some people may not know what an algorithm is. And I thought I had explained it. The algorithm is just, in the internet world. And
Mhm.
you all are very familiar with algorithm because once you go and do a search, say for some shoes, next thing you know, you're getting all these, images and flyers and
That's amazing.
commercials for shoes, purses, whatever it is. You just told the algorithm, I'm looking for shoes.
That's that's
So
that's
when
creepy.
you say you like, you subscribe, you comment on it, that tells the search engine optimization that the people who are searching for these sorts of topics to find us, they'll share our podcast with them, and they'll come and join in, like, subscribe, so on and so forth, and that's how you grow your audience, if you will.
Yeah. We have
Uh,
two more comments. We have a couple more
yes.
comments. Dana says her happy place is snuggled up watching a good show with her grandbabies,
Okay.
her grandgirls. And then Keena says her grandbabies those grandbabies hit different.
Yeah, they do.
They hit different.
They really
They
do.
will tug at your heartstrings.
They really do.
They hit totally, totally, totally different.
They really do. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. K. Dr. K said great content once again. Thanks. Good night. Senna, this is
Thank
great.
you,
Thank you.
Senna.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. And like I said, make some comments once you get out of the podcast. Once you get off the stream, go back and like and make some comments.
Yeah, for those who came in
Yeah,
later,
and
please go
that'll
back
help
and
us.
rewatch it. Yes.
That'll help us. Not just in the chat, okay? The chat is one thing, but when you go to the page
Mhm.
and you see this particular episode, you can make a comment on it. You can like it, you can share it, and all of that really helps the algorithm tell YouTube, hey, share this with this person, that person, and the other. All right, appreciate it, everyone. Look, have a great night, and I'll see you next Wednesday, okay? Got some more good stuff to talk about next Wednesday.
Yes,
Take
we
care,
do. Good night.
everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Say bye to Facebook, babe.
Bye. Bye, Facebook family. Thank you.
I gotta tinkle.